What's up, everybody? How you doing? Kono Pro here. What we have here is basically a kitchen sink faucet that was replaced, and we're going to replace the tiles onto the existing substrate that was there. We're just replacing the tiles only. So right now I'm unscrewing the trim on this particular faucet. You can unscrew the trim and back it off so we have clearance to install the tile. Basically what I got going on here is I'm installing some thinset. This is some fortified thinset from your local hardware store that I mixed up in a 5-gallon bucket. Follow the directions on the thinset and you'll be fine as far as mixing and time to mix and application times and all that stuff. So what I'm putting it on here is with a, using a 3.5 inch, 4 inch trowel to apply the thinset, just to get it on there. It's a little tricky because we're doing it after the fact that the faucet was installed. I'm getting on there pretty thick. I want to make sure I have an even coat all around, and we have good coverage on the existing substrate. The existing substrate is basically the old wall. The original wall of the building. It did not get damaged when they took out the old faucet. So we are going to use that old substrate, old wall, and put on the new thinset. And then just put some of the old tiles back. Fortunately, this homeowner has some leftover tiles from the original build from many years ago, which is amazing. So we're going to use those tiles. I'm using that's a 1.5 inch knife because this side's real tight. Like I say, whatever knives I have to use, and when I say knives, I mean putty knives, concrete trowels, whatever, to get the thinset on there evenly. Now I'm cleaning up my area. Always have a bucket of water and a sponge with you, so you can always keep your area clean. Clean area is a comfortable area, like I always say. Then you can put out good work if you're comfortable. So now I'm checking out what I have as far as my old tiles here. Now, if you don't have, the original tiles, you can go with, like, let's say the trim. The trim on this tile is black. You can go find some basic tiles that are black, 6x6 tiles that are black, and just sort of, put some black tiles in there, or white if you can't find that exact green, or whatever color tile you're matching. If you can't find it, try to go with the neutral color, something that you can put there so it doesn't really look like it's after the fact. So making sure everything's clean, everything looks good to rock. Now I'm piecing in the tiles. I started with the bottom tile, and now I'm doing the top tile. I'm pushing it in, making sure that, everything looks smooth and even with the existing tiles. You want the reveals to be the same. You don't want it to come out higher than the other tile. Going back there, making sure I smooth out some of that thinset, make sure it's all even application, so the tile adheres to the backsplash evenly. So pushing it on there. That's that tile. That tile was notched for the pipe, and I will show you how to notch that here pretty soon on the other side. Keeping it clean, cleaning off my thinset. I always like to clean off the thinset. Any excess thinset that come out through the grout lines, I like to clean them off as I go. That way, it's just everything stays clean as you're working. Making sure everything's lined up. Everything's looking good. Making sure I have even thinset on all of my tiles. Double checking my measurements there to make sure all those grout lines are going to line up. Need to give it a little trim. Right here, this is a tile saw. This is a portable tile saw. It's one of the smaller versions of tile saws. Homeowner use, handyman use, even a professional tile guy can use it for a quick little cuts and stuff like that. Not really used for big tiles, but small tiles, it's great. It's a water saw, so it has a reservoir that you fill it with water, and it has a diamond blade on it designed to cut tile. So after I give it my trim, I piece in the tiles as needed. I had that bottom piece sitting in there to make sure everything else was lined up. Now that I noticed the top tile was going to line up really good, I put some thinset on the back of that bottom tile and installed it permanently, so that way everything is secure tight. All my lines will line up. I'm pushing it on, making sure that the thinset spreads evenly. That's a tile from the original faucet that was there, and that was from the the original notch from the original faucet that was installed. The new faucet is offset a little bit from that original cut, so I'm gonna have to re-notch a new tile to fit underneath that water pipe. So I hold it underneath, I give it a little dry mark with my pencil, mark it on the edges. Right now, I'm just notching the tile. You go slowly, you start cutting just little cuts at a time, basically a blade at a time, and bring it all the way to your line until you have the whole notch cleaned out. It doesn't have to be that clean of a cut because it's going to be hidden from the trim on the faucet. When you screw that trim back, it's going to seal and it's going to cover any rough edge you have left on that cut. So you don't have to spend too much time making sure that cut looks absolutely beautiful, but it is nice to have it nice. So I need to trim the bottom edge and the side edge. After I do my cuts, I dry fit it, make sure everything looks good. If I need another cut, I'll give it another cut. Thing looks good. After I finished off the last piece of the tile, I just went ahead and this is some non-sanded grout. Actually comes in a caulking tube, and you just use a caulking gun to apply it. So it's really easy. I just got an off-white antique grout that matched the existing grout, non-sanded grout, because the grout lines are less than an 1/8 inch. If they're less than an 1/8 inch, you have to use a non-sanded grout. If they're over an 1/8 inch, the grout you have to use is a sanded grout. So in this case, it was just a non-sanded grout that we got to use in a caulking, with a caulking gun that was in a tube. It was great. It was fast application, comes out really nice. After I do my grout, I give everything a good clean over, make sure everything looks good. And there you have it, tile job patched and ready to rock. All right, guys, hope you liked the video. Kono Pro, check in if you need anything else, let us know. Thank you so much. Have a good one. Bye-bye, guys.